Are you excited for Shiny Wars despite all the changes? I'm sure you've seen my opinions on the game in general as of late. So I'm excited because I'm one of the few people who values just doing it as a team. I just got messaged by a really W person. I got messaged, like, for instance, I'm sure he's okay showing it, but Nappy just messaged me to be on the team, right? Nappy just messaged me to be on the team, and I said, we're only taking Horde. I love him, but like we're taking Horde, right? We either win as a team of retards or we lose as a team of retards, right? Granted, I'm gonna take the best retards that are on my team, right? But I feel like the second I stop doing the bare minimum, which is like help my guys out, you know, I'm not really doing justice. And shame on anybody who doesn't take their own team and takes randoms over it. As for Shiny Wars, no, I believe Shiny Wars is just a creation to take money from the player. If the game cared about us in any capacity, they would have changed any of the million issues. We actually made a document the other day. They would change any of these 28 things or 32 things that we talked about, my stream and I came up with yesterday in less than 20 minutes. And this is what they've done in the meantime. They've nerfed hordes, they've nerfed gyms, they've nerfed E4, nerfed ditto catching, nerfed fossil farming, nerfed strings, nerfed pumpkin event, nerfed pickup, nerfed alpha catches, nerfed XP candy off alphas. And then I forced our guys to do positives. This was like nails on a chalkboard, but I do like the game. Player support is much better. Certain moderators are more consistent. Bear administrator, ignore that middle name, Matsui. No more recaptcha scene. Game is smooth to transition between regions. Allows mods, player support, amazing Pokedex, great EV. Pokemon tab visuals, social aspect of the game is great. Updated forum website, better breeding system. Berries are well balanced. Decent economy. Lure update, secret shiny update, alpha update, anniversary event, PvP only cosmetics, PvP balancing, accessibility and free to play, giving us increased shiny odds during Christmas. And better than Nintendo and every other emulator, and Johto Safari is well done. But I'm telling you, man, these things that you guys just keep neglecting, and I know you don't have much power as a moderator, but there's a reason you guys didn't fill up 150 slots. And that's because players are just done. And I see it, you know, they pool around me. The aggressive ones that don't use logic and have an emotional argument, you know me, Enzo, I shut that down. But like, there are so many people who are just feeling wronged by this game, and I want the game to be better. I'm sure you want it to be better, and I know I don't want you to say anything that will put you in jeopardy. But man, they are objectively doing a horrible job, and I don't appreciate it. Bro, Park and I made it. And that was not inherent of the event, the idea we did. That's what it becomes. It's what it's become. Major gold sink. Whether or not it was made with good intentions, that's what it's become. And in terms of balancing, that's what's still supported. And then the species nerf, where you can't catch multiple species, further nerfs anybody's ability to play free to play, because there's only a limited amount of times you can leave a Pokemon Center, a limited amount of hordes near a PC. And then there's still no, like, people are disallowing their teammates from doing singles. Like, your event is so full of holes that I don't have any positives to say about it, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or get anybody to think the way I do, so I avoid talking about the balance of your event in any capacity. But, like, yeah. There's not a lot of love to say about the balancing your event and the way it translates and the way it just becomes a money sink. You want my yen? Yeah, exactly. How did they nerf hordes? Hordes that existed for years, like Ralts, were 50-50 with Bit-A-Barrel, and then some sociopath decided that after years of it being the same, they were going to retroactively change Ralts to be 80-20. So now you have situations where Techno Vortex is getting 16 beta barrels for 1 Ralts, and the idea of phasing on a shiny is creating a huge divide within the community, because certain people are dry forever, and then certain people are actually unironically complaining about getting a shiny because it's not the one they want. And, you know, to singles, and like maybe it's to, but there's just so many horde encounters, and rather than add more horde encounters, they decided to artificially increase the accessibility of old horde encounters, and that's just poor game design, and it's an anti-player decision. The only one it benefits is the game creators themselves, and it's just not a good, just a horrible change that has very, very little. It wasn't even 60-40. It was like 50-50 most of the time. Last year it was Cryagonal, Kumpka, Perma Camping Spot. That couldn't have stayed that way. You're still having 10-point hordes. So I don't want to get into the semantics of this, Enzo, because I'm just gonna make everyone who is easily influenced by me think negatively of the event, and I don't want to do that. But you still have 10-point hordes. I don't know how you can call it balancing and still have 10-point hordes. Like, do you want nobody to have the ability to do single encounters? I know you guys don't give any safari bonus, so safari hunting, you can't even do it during the event duration if someone wants to, and other things like that. There's no fishing bonus, but there's actually no, you can't even just do single encounters with the way they reworked it too, especially with the species bonus. Teams are unironically telling their players they can't do singles. If we were a try-hard team, I wouldn't let my team do singles either. Even Enzo made, even my best buddy, right? My number 2 on the team who's carrying Team Horde, Abe, is like, you're going to do singles love disc during the event? I'm like, yeah, it's right near the PC. Even he's like, man, we really shouldn't be doing singles. And we might not win because I choose to do singles, and that's just the reality we live in. Like, the balancing of this event is arguably worse than last year. But again, that's cringe nerfing it like that. 420, I spent 10 million to the end to come up on carp. It ate all my yen and it's golden. It was eating for a while. It should be bigger. There is a +5 to Safari. Yeah, there is a +5 to Safari. There is a +5 to Safari. But it more so falls onto singles in general not being viable. So the +5 to Safari, yes, yeah. But the odds of it running, and then the fact that it's still a single non-encounter horde, you're kind of cooked. If you have feedback, there's nothing we would appreciate more than offer that. Well, I'm trying not to be overly negative, but sure, Enzo, because I know you're coming from a good spot. We want to improve the event year to year. Okay, so why are we making hordes 10 points? If you're adding a species bonus, right? If you're adding a species bonus, you know how much that impacts the availability, right? So like if a lot of players can't afford Leppas, this event isn't for them, right? If that's how you want it, that's fine. But for players who like, because Leppas are going to go in price exponentially, for players who don't want a credit card pump and they just want to keep their normal hunting going, I think the best events are designed with freedom of choice. And your event currently is so freedom of choice, it's depressing, right? If like I'm letting players, as long as you phase once, I'm just telling people to rotate, because it's 1 point to discourage. I know the reasoning behind it obviously is to discourage people from getting the same mon to avoid the outcome where everyone hunts Cryagonal again. But like, you have a result where, like, if I really was like trying to get a Bagon for so long, and then I get a Golbat, and then I get another Golbat, and I'm already doing single encounters, that means I am getting the same amount of points as somebody who is sitting in Lost Cave and just spamming 5 hordes. He's hitting 5 to 1. And then if I do get a Miss Magius, that Miss Magius is worth 10 of my effort. 10 of my single encounter shunts. How disgusting is that? Because to have an at odds single encounter is 120,000 encounters. 120,000 encounters is the time commitment it takes to get an at odds single encounter. And somehow, if I am single encountering, that is 10 points more than what I am getting for value. Is that not brain dead balancing? Is that not the most retarded shit you've heard in your life? Like, how do we, what are we doing? I noticed that the recaptures are gone now. Actually, the case. I haven't gotten one. Maybe that's why I give them the benefit of the doubt. Some people claim, but they've never shown me any screenshots. So I'd like to believe that the recaptures are gone. And I know they expressed interest when I made it as much issue, and I had a direct talk to Q and Desu's credit. I had a direct email chain on saying we don't like that system and we're getting rid of it. So I know they're at least actively working towards to get rid of it. So I count it as solved because it's on their radar. They don't like it. They agreed with it not being a good system. So it is either going away or it's already gone. And I haven't seen it since. So I'd say, Snow, I think they're in the clear for that. Again, it's a good example of you don't hate the devs as people. Right? Because who here, right? I just encountered this. I walked up, I was at the commissary today while I was doing errands, which is a grocery store, and I saw that the QPA, it was 4 energy drinks, right? And it was selling 4 energy drinks for $6.99. But then the price per unit was saying it was $1.10 when it's clear and I'm like, how is that cheaper than the 24 pack? And then I look, and it's $1.30 for the 24 pack, and it's somehow $1.10 for the 4 pack. And then I see it's saying 110 QPA, but it's 4 monsters for $6.99, which is almost $2 a monster. And I said, I took a picture of it, and I walked up to the lady who was at the cashier, and she told me to go tell customer service. And I said, ma'am, I'm not buying anything. I'm reporting an issue for you. And then she goes, oh. And then she goes, okay, and then she goes back to not giving a fuck, right? That's most people's employees. That's most people's take on whatever job they're doing. And I work with people, and I'm okay with people doing this as long as you are doing the bare minimum, right? It's not negligence against you. It's never a personal attack against you. It's like everybody has different skill sets, but a lot of the time I see is people think they don't interact with their product enough. They don't care enough. They have no investment with their product, and because of that, they take the easiest way out and the easiest possible. And I see that time and time again. So it's not like they hate you. It's just like they're not playing the game. They're getting bad community feedback. The community feedback they do get is, I've done 6,000 encounters, Minish, and I'm shiny locked. And that's not helping anybody. You know? So it's like, yeah. Like, they want to make their game better, I think, but we need to appeal to them and be like, look, this is more of a problem. Look at the math. Look at what's happening. Look how much of an issue this is. And since they have improved their support, to their credit, because they knew it was bad, because I pointed out how bad it was, even though I had to burn fucking bridges and set the house on fire to do so, right? But, like, they care about their game. If they would give us no updates, as Enzo said, they would give us no shiny worth at all if they didn't care about their game. So they do care about their game to an extent. But are you going to make that lazy employee walk over to the customer service jack to report something that isn't in their realm of, like, is there any incentive for them to, like, follow up on my report? Because no, they don't care about the business, right? And that's usually what happens. And it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. An exact example of what I'm talking about, Enzo, is HC. HC hunted all event. He was on 16 hours a day. And he was on 16 hours a day. He went over 100K dry on singles. And he got 1 Pidgey the entire event. And then he found out, I mean, not Pidgey, he got his Zigzagoon that entire event. And he found out his Zigzagoon was worth 1 point. If you look at it objectively, he trolled the team. If you look at it objectively, he trolled the team because he wanted Trimish. He popped over 50 charms himself. And he got like a point or 2 points or some ridiculously low number for his Zigzagoon hunt. And you know what happened after that? He actually stopped playing the game because of the event. He actually hasn't played the game actively since that event because it pisses him off so much. Not caring about the little things does that. And you who's played this game, you who understands what it means to grind, understands what goes into a single counter hunt. How the fuck are there 10-point hordes? I don't care if it's 80-20. How the fuck are there 10-point hordes? I could do the math just in my head and know they're encountering 5-1. If there's an incentive to get 10-1 encounters, 10 times the points for a 5 times more per encounter rate, it doesn't make mathematical sense. It is borderline retarded, and it ruins people's ability to do half of the in-game mechanics, which is single encountering. Effectively, what you're saying is this is a horde hunting event and an egging event, which most players can't do. I spent 6 million a breed on nothing. I spent 6 million a breed on nothing for months. I was spending 6 million yen a day on the stream every day for nothing. And now we're going to force other players to do that when there's no safety net? And then if I don't egg, and then the species clause does nothing besides further encourage egging? If you're not egging, you're actually running it down mid. Especially because it's a 20 to 0. So you can sit there and spam hordes and then eggs. People already have eggs hatched and they're just waiting. People have made thousands of eggs. I've talked to Mr. members. People have made thousands of eggs and they have them on their alt ready to get hatched. So that way they don't have to take the time to egg. Like, your event's already cooked. That's why you didn't get your 150. Yeah, 23k eggs rating. We've met some of them. Your event's cooked. So the reason I don't talk about this is because I have nothing positive to say. I have until I had this conversation with you said, I like the fact that they're doing anything. I like the fact that you're doing anything. But your event is already cooked. And it's arguably worse than last year. They have thousands of dittos already caught on alt accounts. No. They have all their eggs hatched in their PC. So their entire PC box is already preemptively full of eggs. And people have over 18 characters worth of just dittos to get their next breed. Sorry if I explained that poorly. If someone has thousands of dittos and wants to shoot me a message, they're going to use them. And I had to tell my team, because everybody was getting excited for the Shiny Wars, I had to tell everybody, I'm like, look, this event isn't for us. We're going to aim for the top 50. This is before your thing came out. We're going to aim for the top 50 to get our name, to show that we care, to show that we're an active team and we're good players, and we're going to have fun. And I'm going to allow single encountering. I'm going to allow you to hunt whatever you want and just hunt for fun. And we're going to see if we can get the top 50. Now that there's a prize, we're trying to lock in a little bit more. If our more active players want to participate, we're encouraging that. Like, we're substituting Cowboy onto the roster. But like, and I made the exact suggestion that the top 50 should get a prize. But yeah, your event doesn't make sense. That's just it. Your scoring of your event makes no sense. And if you can't egg, you're not even competitive. If your team isn't hatching eggs around the clock, it's not even competitive. I stored 20 Ditto boxes on alt just to make more money. Yeah, and and that's why I'm telling my players, I'm like, look, you don't have to sell to the team. If you sell to the team, please give a discount, but like, make your money. I'm telling new players, I'm like, look, cosmetics are going to drop in price. What is Unity Cape at? It was at 80 million a couple months. Let's see the Unity Cape. 68 million. It's dropping millions a day. If you're trying to get a cosmetic purchase, these fucking super rich, unregulated players who own millions of the market, what I would be if I didn't spend billions of yen on eggs, they're dropping their price. Like, so if you're looking to invest in a cosmetic purchase, this is the time. Thank you, Deadly. Farm dittos, farm fossils, milk those suckers dry, get your yen, because the game doesn't allow you to farm yen as much as it used to, and the only way you can make money is getting it in fellow stuff, choking out the life of your other fellow players. Thank you, Deadly, for the Amazon Prime and the Bezos bucks, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Love you, bud. I thought it was a species clause only applied to the same player. Is it a team thing? You get a bonus for species. You get a bonus for the species, but if you as a player get one shiny, you can't get that species again. Otherwise, it's only 1 point. So I could get a Golbat, and then Reverse would get a Golbat, and then we would have the same points for that Golbat. But if I get a second Golbat, I'm cooked. But we're out the species bonus. And ideally, if a team is trying, they're trying to get every species they can, which means they're going to get every 5 Horde available, right? They're going to strategically gamify whatever 5 Horde is available, and then they're going to hatch eggs, and then they're going to get their single encounters off of the eggs encounters. Unique species bonus is for a team as a whole. Duplicate is per individual. Yes. So the optimum way to play is you hatch eggs around the clock to control what species of Pokemon is getting hunted. There will be an additional 5 points, so it's a 25-point swing that is not available to regular players unless they're single encountering. And if they're single encountering, they're wasting their fucking time. They're going to get every single horde available. So say I'm hunting Cryogonal, I get a bear, I go to another spot. What's up, Chicky? And say that now my teammate goes to that same spot until we get a Cryogonal, and then we have both species bonuses, and then we rotate to another spot. That is how you would play, and we're all hatching eggs as we do this. That is how you would play optimally. But, how many people can afford to hatch eggs? How many, and especially with the increased price of dittos, how many people can afford this shit? I'll tell you what, very little. So majority of the people are doing what I recommended, which is locking in and just, hey, my dittos are worth more. I'm going to hunt dittos. And I'm super disappointed by the species bonus because I was going to encourage my team just to catch thousands of dittos. I was going to encourage my team, catch a ditto, catch another ditto. And if you get a shiny ditto while you're making bank and selling to the fucking richie riches, now you can just catch dittos, and we get 5 points a ditto or whatever they thought is appropriate if they added some sort of single encounter bonus. But no, we can't even do that. We can't even do that. So, because we could have potentially gone top 50, right? Because I think most people realize the futility of this war, and that's why they don't want to participate. But everything I say, right? You literally cannot, in good consciousness, single encounter. But I'm going to be single encountering after a certain point. I'm going to try not to, but when I'm like, when I run out of eggs, I'm not making any more eggs. I'm not buying any more dittos. My alts are going to be making dittos. I already have about 3 boxes full, and I'm one of the richest players in MMO, despite how much this game has taken from me. And, yeah, I have about 3 alts, about 9 characters worth of dittos, and that isn't as much as any of the people on the team Mr. Encounter spots. What's up, Chicky? Good to see you. Welcome to the hunt. Also love my Team Horde friends. But yeah, this event is just for the super rich. And then the game is going to milk the super rich. Whether or not that was the intention, that's what it's become. And then the rule sets further escalate the problem and don't solve. And if you're going to the safari, you're trolling because, you're getting a 5-point bonus. That's cool, but single encounters are still unviable. But yeah, literally HC has not played since the last event because he was so mad about the Pidgey thing. I mean, the Zigzagoon thing. I already removed it. I had a fucking silk scarf on him. Chicky's never gonna forget that. My boy Shaco hatching eggs. But yeah, we have a good team. I think we got like the only person who's really not on Team Horde is Aukshit. And that's just because it's Aukshit. I think we as a team decided Aukshit, for all intensive purposes, is better for the team. Other than that, I think we got like 28 members on Team Horde, Abe. What are we looking at? 29, 28? Who's not on Team Horde that's on the team besides Aukshit? It's just Aukshit, right? And it's just Aukshit because he's popping charms and is a goat. Right? All? Yeah, so it's 29 Horde members and Aukshit. That's our team. And we're letting Aukshit on because Aukshit is asked early, firstly. And we had one spot. And I made that decision. And I think it's better that, like, you know, we have Homeboy on our team. And he was looking for a more casual but competitive team that isn't going to, like, sweat, and that's us. I guess the best strat is to hatch around the clock while hoarding. Yep, it really is. And if you're not doing that, you will not win. The 50, the Dragon Horns was a good I don't like the cosmetic, but I like what it represents. And I think the absolute W of putting the top 50 helped. But like other than that, it's not for 99% of the community. And ironically, most of the people this event is geared for have quit the game recently, so